What's going on YouTube? Dannydecks here, and we are back with more Legends of Runeterra content. So today I want to do something a little bit different. I actually want to do a deck building guide, go over how I like to build my decks and the thought process I go through and the different things I consider. So we're going to put together a deck. It's not necessarily going to be the best. They do take time to tweak and work on. We won't have, multiple hours in this video, but it'll give you a good starting point. We'll create a deck, we'll play with it a little bit, and just give you a good idea of how to build decks in Legends of Runeterra. So, let's get into it.
There is nowhere left to go but up.
Alright, so we are in the screen of the deck building, and when I build a deck, there's a couple of things I like to consider first that are very important. The first one is, what is the deck's purpose? And actually, I'm going to back out of this screen and I'll go over some of my decks and how I came to get to them. So the question is, what is the purpose of my deck? Now, is my deck created to be, meta, essentially, or very competitive, and this is a ladder deck? And if that's the case, then I don't really so much focus on a champion as I do a region combination, or what I think is working. The next thing you can consider is, am I looking to counter the meta? Am I looking to do something that beats something that's very common? So in a case of my most recent video, my anti-meta deck, the way that I put this deck together actually was regions first, because I knew I wanted to beat Mono Shurima and I wanted to beat aggro and combo. So what regions do that well? Well, in terms of aggro, the best regions against aggro are usually going to be Freljord, Targon, and Shadow Isles. I think Shadow Isles and Freljord are a step above Targon for anti-aggro, and they also double as having the ability to stop combos through their removal. Targon doesn't really have removal, they just have healing. So, Shadow Isles is a natural fit. Now, how do I stop Sundisk? I need landmark removal, and this gives me the option of Noxus or Piltover and Zon. I opted to go with Piltover and Zon for the Aftershock because it synergizes well with everything I want to do in Shadow Isles. My champions, however, came as more of an afterthought. Not necessarily that I didn't consider my champions when making the deck, but I did not build this deck around the champions. The way that I did it is I thought I found my need and my want, which was I want to beat aggro, I want to beat combo, and I want to be able to beat the Sundisk. What regions do I need for this? What regions are best at this? And I combine the regions. And then within that, I basically go through the champions and I say, with what I'm trying to do, what champions are going to fit? And that's the approach I took for my anti-meta deck. Now, let's talk about Howling Abyss. This deck was a different concept. My concept was not about being meta or countering anything. And when I build all my decks, I like to have them viable or playable. I'm not building just a meme deck for a 1 in 10 type of gameplay. I want to be able to play these on ladder whenever I want. And I want people to be able to play them and with, decent piloting be somewhat successful. So I'm trying to make real decks. Anyways, in this case, this deck was more about, I want to play Howling Abyss, right? So that was my goal in mind. My goal in mind wasn't to be top tier or counter anything specifically. It was, how do I make a Howling Abyss deck viable, right? And along with this, I basically went through the cards and I thought, what is the best way to activate this? And then you have your Akshan. I opted to go Zillion and Xerath, right? The way that I came with this deck is I wanted it to be playable without having to get Howling Abyss. And I slowly pieced it together from there. I started with Howling Abyss, and I thought, what's going to synergize well? How can I make this work? And then through trial and error, along with, different stuff, I came to this deck list. So now this comes to another point in the video. And the next point is your shell, right? So now that we've identified what we want to do, and you don't need to necessarily build a competitive or a good deck, you can build any sort of deck you want. And it really depends on what you want to do. For me, as a content creator and someone who's trying to create interesting decks for YouTube, I am often really not aiming for the top tier tier 1 deck style. I actually prefer to go more for champion or like specific card based decks. With the exception of anti-meta. This is not a champion specific deck, and it's not focused around our champions. They just supplement and they help the deck, and that's what makes it strong. Whereas other decks where, let's say, even Cold Souls, right? This is built around Ashe, with Senna being supportive, but mainly this is an Ashe deck. So the whole purpose is I'm building a deck around Ashe, and when you're not drawing Ashe, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And this kind of leads into another thing about building decks around champions. When you're building a deck around your champion, it needs to be able to stand alone in order to win. If you don't draw your champion, you need to have ways to either get it, i.e., tutors. Sorry, tutor is a magic term, which means basically search for it. So, an example of a champion tutor, Golden Ambassador. This makes Mono Shurima significantly more consistent, because they don't need to rely on the RNG of drawing their Xerath and Azir, since they have additional copies of it through Golden Ambassador. Freljord has Entreat, which will let them draw their champion. Zombie Anivia has Entreat as well as the Gluttony, which will let them tutor out Anivia. The whole point is, if your deck is really, really focused on getting your champions, you need to have ways to tutor them, or your deck needs to be able to stand on its own without it. In terms of a standalone deck, let's look at Mecha Yordles in Arms. This deck is going to perform perfectly fine and win a ton of games without drawing Fizz or Rumble. Fizz not being as important in this deck, he just happens to cover 2 regions and, be kind of a pain in the ass to remove. But let's say Rumble, right? Rumble, this is more of a Rumble deck. If you don't draw Rumble, it doesn't matter. Rumble helps, and he's a great card, and when you get him, your games are going to be significantly better, assuming you can play him. But the deck stands on its own, and I think that's really important if you're trying to make a strong deck, even if it is champion-centric. So getting back to the shell. When you have determined what kind of deck you want to make, you need to create a shell for it. And what the shell basically is the cards that synergize well and they make up the core of your deck. Now we're going to make a new deck here, and an example of a shell, like this is a very, let's just do Lurk, right? So the problem with Lurk's shell is it's going to be the majority of your deck, right? So when you put all the Lurk cards in your deck, you're at like 30 plus. You have very few options. It's not quite the same as other shells. Whereas a Darkness shell is only like 15 or 20 cards, realistically, and all of the other ones are technically options as per my Darkness video. Depending on the archetype you play, your shell is going to be different. So, we know what we want to do now. We know what our shell is, or we have a good idea of our shell. That can always be changed. We now need a win condition. Win condition can actually be the first thing you put in a deck. It doesn't matter, as long as in your process of creating your deck you have a win condition in mind. You can have multiple win conditions, decks often do, and the best decks have, really do have multiple win conditions, unless your win condition is extremely reliable. There are some win conditions more reliable than others. We need to get our win condition in here, and we need to be realistic about our win condition. Our win condition can't be Exodia, play 5 cards and have it, line up perfectly. That's unrealistic. Let's talk about the Papercraft Dragon Ruined Runner. Wait, what? Runner. There it is. Ruin Runner. Okay. So there was a win condition out there with Ruin Runner and Papercraft Dragon. That is a 2-card win condition, which is pretty consistent, especially since a lot of their deck had ways to draw cards. They drew cards, they predicted, and they would just assemble their combo pieces. They also had secondary win conditions in that deck in the form of Gnar or even Aksha. That deck was quite powerful. It wasn't, the best deck in the game by any means, but that's a good example of a win condition that's realistic. 2-card combo, Commander Ledros Atrocity, those are reasonable win conditions that you can probably get reliably. Unrealistic, Lucian. If Lucian is your win condition here with his level up double stack and rallies, that's pretty unrealistic because it's very easy to shut down. And if your deck can't win without doing something like that, you're going to have a hard time. Ezreal is actually a pretty reliable win condition. Assuming you can draw Ezreal, decks that are built around the card, they reliably level him up and they have a ton of spells and they can close out games. You have to also understand the limits of your win condition. Is my win condition like Ledros, where if the opponent has 19 or less health, it's a 2-card kill? Or is it more like Ezreal, where I need to chip them down a little bit before I deal, 10 or so damage? This is all very important. So, we now have the ideas we got. We know what we want to do. We know that we need to make a shell for it, and we've essentially put our shell together. And then we have a win condition. Those are the 3 major factors. After that, it turns into tech cards, which your tech cards are going to be specific cards you put in because they are good or bad in the current meta. And beyond tech cards, it turns into tweaking. And what tweaking essentially is, at least for me, I will play games with the deck. I will find if it's working or not working. And then I will just slightly adjust. I'll say, I'm weak to this and I'm strong to that. I can take some power out of here and put it into here to help this matchup, so on. Another important thing to note is your deck is likely not going to beat every deck. And you don't need to. If you have a deck that loses to Feel the Rush. Let's say your deck beats majority of the meta, but it loses to Feel the Rush. Feel the Rush is not very popular, and it's okay to take that loss if you are winning every other matchup, or you are favored in every other matchup. So don't feel like your deck needs to beat everything. Make sure you have an idea in mind of what your deck is supposed to be good against, and work towards that. So, I am going to actually build a deck right now, and we'll go over all of the stuff I just talked about, and we'll put it together. We'll play a couple games, we'll see what worked, what didn't work, and we'll edit it. Keep in mind, when you build a deck, it's almost never good on the first iteration. Or not good, but it's not right. So don't be afraid to play a bunch of games with the deck and tweak it and feel it out. Don't give up on it right away. Experiment. And you're not going to get it right the first time. Don't feel down about that. However, do not be afraid to just scrap an idea. I scrap ideas and I go in all kinds of different directions all the time. I will have an idea, I'll play a deck, and I'll think like, this isn't working, but I really like this aspect of it. So then you'll scrap the other half of it, and then you'll just take the aspect that works, and you can build upon that. And that's just how the deck building process goes, at least for me. I don't think anybody just puts together 40 cards and all of a sudden they're playing a tier 1 deck. Very rarely. So, let's build a deck. Now, the type of deck you want to play is going to matter, right? So this is kind of more of point 1. What kind of deck do I want to build and play today? So today, I actually think I'm going to go with something a little unconventional. And because I like to make content, I tend to build my decks starting with a champion for the most part. This isn't, necessarily the way that you do it. It just depends on your goal. My goal is I want to create interesting content, and the champions seem to be the heart of decks, and people really like them. So if you have a favorite champion and you want to build a deck around them, it's a good place to start. Swain's kind of played out. Udyr's kind of bad. Maybe Hecarim. What about Vlad? We'll play Vlad. We'll go Vlad. We'll make a Vlad deck. So, alright. We got Vlad. We know one of our regions is going to be Noxus. And from what Vlad does, essentially, if he's had 5 allies survive damage, he levels up. And when he levels up, every time you attack, he drains for 1, and it heals you and deals damage directly to them. So the way I see Vlad is, I actually kind of see Vlad as a finisher. Now, The question is, what archetype do I want to put Vlad in? It's very common that you play Vlad with Braum. My personal thing is I don't really like Vlad and Braum. The reason I don't is because it's inconsistent. It's a deck that plays Scargrounds, and the difference between having your Scargrounds and not is pretty much night and day. Not to mention, a 3-mana do-nothing on 3 can often lose you the game. So I'm going to opt to not go Scargrounds, Vlad, and Braum. Now, looking at Vlad's level condition, I need stuff that survives damage. So let's look at deal... No, that's not it. Bilgewater. Bilgewater's a good one. So Bilgewater actually has cards that are going to damage their own units upon play, like Crusty Codger. So, Vlad being a finisher at 5, I feel like I want to build an aggressive deck. So let's play some Crusty Codgers. Let's play some other stuff that hits itself. So we're just cruising through the decks, the card list now, and we're looking to see like what is a good shell. And we're just building out our shell. So normally you would think that the Aristocrats or the Crimson cards are good for this, but I don't really want them because I'm looking to play aggressive and I don't quite feel like they're aggressive enough. I might double back and take them, but for the time being, I'm going to start with a very simple shell. This card is actually perfect for what we want. It hits our own unit and it burns stuff. Looks good to me. Grenadier might make the cut. I don't want Isla. And another thing, actually, so when Vlad attacks, he will drain 1 damage from your, or 1 health from your allies. Anything to the right of him. This means that I don't actually want to play a card like Mariah Warden, because I want to take full advantage of Vladimir's effect. So I'm going to avoid 1 health units as much as possible. I might not totally avoid them, but we'll see what cards we have to work with. Just cruising through the list, it's not looking like we have too many good options. We could take Fervor. We are playing an aggressive deck, so Fervor is maybe not bad. I'm going to grab 1 copy of Scorched Earth. I can adjust this later or just take it out completely, but this will be good for Mono Shurima. However, I don't really think I need to play against Mono Shurima because I'm looking to be aggressive. So we're going to beat Mono Shurima with aggro. We'll take that out. I don't really see a whole lot else that I wanted. Ooh, Island Navigator's good. This is going to give us multiple units. We're looking to be aggressive, so this effectively turns into 2 damage for our Vlad. And it curves into Vlad perfectly, so I like that. I'm not seeing anything. We could go Zap. We could even play a Decimate if we want to play super aggro. So we'll just put 1 Decimate in for now. I don't think I want Whispered Words, and we're not playing enough to nab. Zap is a potential. I'm not going to put him in yet. Maybe I'll just to have the placeholder. And we could go with a very high mana card for game-ending situations, and then from here we're going to fill out the rest of our shell. So basically, this is kind of what our deck is looking like, and we're going to be able to fill this up after. First, we just want to have the basics, and the basics are let's level up our Vlad, and let's use Vlad as our win condition. Not seeing anything. I mean, technically, Farron could be good. This guy is also not bad. I'm not positive I like any of these cards. So we're gonna... Like, Farron is a maybe. Maybe we run 1 Farron in case the game goes super late. Alright. So, we got 21 out of 40 cards. Our deck is looking to be aggressive at the moment. And I actually might not take Boxtopus, because Boxtopus goes to 1 HP, so this is a to be determined. Now, we know we're looking to be aggressive, and we're looking for 2 health or more units. So, being in Noxus is really good for that. This is a aggressive card. We'll take Crackshot Corsair. Butcher is a maybe. Rearguard is a for sure. We can take Butcher for now. What else do we got here? This is actually not bad. We'll take this because it is pseudo card draw, and we are looking to be aggressive. So we should be able to proc the nab, and he has 2 HP. This card might not make the list along with Boxtopus, but we'll have to see at the end. This is maybe decent. Do we have anything that it's worth using it on? We really don't, honestly, so I probably won't play that. Ah, oh my god, this card's amazing. This is 2 towards it. Okay, so that's good. Could go House Spider just to go wide. I mean, this is a fairly aggressive card. This is also a fairly aggressive card. So we'll do this. We're going to trim it down. We're just kind of picking up the cards that we want to be aggressive with. Do I ever go Might? I could grab 1 copy of Might. Or maybe, do I ever want Make It Rain? How relevant is this card going to be? I guess it could be potentially relevant. We'll just hold on to it for a second. Could go Transfusion, but Vlad's Transfusion. And I also don't have a second champion. So we'll get there. We're just kind of throwing together what we kind of might want to pick, right? So this is kind of my process. I will have an idea. I started with Vlad. And from Vlad, I decided I want to go, a aggressive deck rather than a control deck. Pick the synergizing cards with Vlad. Our win condition is obviously going to be aggro, and finishing it out with a Vladimir, hopefully to drain for 5 or something, which is, pretty strong. I don't see anything else in here I particularly like. Cool. I actually do think, I don't know if I want to play 3 Decimates or not. We'll determine that. So now we need another champion. We don't need another champion, but I kind of would like one. And I think there's a couple of good options here. So Gangplank is a good option because we are going to be triggering Plunder or, damaging the Nexus a bunch. Swain is a good option because we are also going to be dealing a bunch of non-combat damage. I actually don't think I want Zap in this deck. I might not want this. I don't know if I want Might either. We'll tweak it. We'll tweak it. So Darius is a good option. He could actually technically be an alternate win con. He can come down after Vlad. TF is good. Rumble, not so much. Tom Kench, no. So out of these, even MF. Maybe I'll go MF. MF forces them to take bad trades. How good is MF? What's my 3 drops? I don't actually have any 3 drops. So maybe I will take MF. Okay, we'll go MF. We will play Misfortune. Alternatively, though, if Misfortune doesn't work out for us, we can always go to Gangplank, or, like a Darius or a Swain. Probably won't play Swain, but Darius is also a potential good option, and even maybe Scion. But we do have an idea of what we're looking for now, and we basically have our deck, and it's time to just tweak the numbers, and we'll take it onto the ladder. What don't I want? I kind of like having gas. I'm a huge fan of card draw, so I think I can cut Boxtopus. I think I do have enough kill my own stuff that it should work. I don't know if I want Farron. I kind of want additional Decimates, honestly, and we'll cut Farron. Farron just seems a little bit too slow. I think if we go late game with the deck, we're probably going to lose anyways. Is Make It Rain worth it? I kind of like House Spider because it spreads out, but is House Spider really that good? It gets to be a tough call, honestly. At this point, we can cut the Might. I mean, Might is a good surprise I win, but we'll go away with the Might. I need to cut 5 cards still. Darn, this is toughy. I don't know if I like Grenadier, actually. Grenadier's not bad. Okay, so we can cut 1 House Spider. We'll cut 1 Grenadier. We will cut... Maybe... Nah, Butcher's pretty strong. Maybe 1 Butcher. Yeah, we can cut 1 Butcher, 1 Merchant. And actually, we should probably cut Make It Rain completely. I think I actually want to cut... I'd rather cut Make It Rain out and re-add some of these cards. Do I want Butcher? I do want Butcher. I think having 1-drops is super important in aggro deck. Black Market Merchant is not as important. Do I prefer Grenadier or House Spider? I think Grenadier, actually. No, we'll go House Spider. There's a lot of stuff that'll trade. Okay, and we'll call our deck Vladdy. Boom. let's take it on ladder, we'll experiment with it, and then we can tweak it. Alright, so we are on the Master's Ladder with a Vladdy. And let's see how this goes. I mean, like I said, normally you end up with something like this. It's a very rough draft, and sometimes it'll just be good. Other times you have to tweak it and experiment. Even just scrapping it completely. I don't know if this concept's going to work. I would imagine it's probably not going to be all that great because Vlad isn't really played much. However, this is more about the process and, you know, helping people learn how to build decks. Now, Heimer Victor, I think they're going to be having a tough time being super aggro here. And I actually kind of like having the double 1-drops. I think he's going to struggle against aggro, which I'm going to try to take full advantage of. Now, do I play Corsair? I think I'll play Cadre. I'll likely just open attack. Maybe not, actually. This is probably better. Demolitionist? No. We'll play this. The problem with Demolitionist is it goes on the stack, and it'll give him the ability to Mystic Shot. I don't really want to give him that ability.
Once I stamp papers, now faces.
Okay, no biggie. We got our damage in. And we've put 3 points into Vlad already. So our Vlad leveling game plan is well underway. If we can actually get this Demolitionist to hit this unit, we're doing quite well. We go for it.
War Mason.
I think it's worth it. I don't want to develop MF into a Thermo. We'll just force the Mystic Shot. No Mystic Shot. That's beautiful. Okay, and the Android, doesn't matter. Alright, now all of a sudden, our aggro deck is looking pretty good. I will start with Corsair over MF. He's likely to play a Victor, and then we just go. We don't care to level up MF in this deck, I don't think, so because we're not aiming to do that, I'm probably going to actually attack with the MF. This could get Thermo beamed. Nope, no Thermo. Oh, we just full swing. We're looking for the kill. We want to kill our opponent as fast as possible with this deck. Now, we didn't draw Vlad, which kind of goes into the whole point of you want your deck to stand on its own. However, we also put ourselves in a position where if we do draw our Vlad, he's going to be pretty devastating since he's going to be hard to remove. And just deal guaranteed damage. Okay, so he doesn't even kill MF. That works. And there's our Vlad level. Perfect. If we play Vlad now, if we have a full board with a Vlad, he just loses. I'm pretty sure this game's over. Alright, and we will do it on this guy.
Remember the objectives.
He's likely to kill my MF, I would imagine.
Safety disengaged.
Okay, sure.
A ticket to the gun show.
I think I replaced this first.
Don't ask where it's from.
Let's grab something from him. That's a pretty cool card to take.
Requires just 1.21 gigahexes.
Okay. Well, with the current what we have, I think we win. Right? Like, how does he stop this?
None can compare.
And either way, we have Deep Bed, which is, you know, going to draw some stuff. So let's see what the opponent can do about this. He may have heal. He is playing in Ionia, but this is looking like a pretty good start for our aggressive Vlad MF deck. We did not draw Vlad, as I said. However, Vlad would win the game all the same here. In this position, if we had a Vlad on the board, he would suck for 5, and that's just death.
Interesting solution.
I'm assuming he has removal, right? Like, he's just kind of looking. Come on, friend. Do you have it or not?
Oh dear.
Okay. So he must have multiple removals, right? Like, he has to. He wants to keep that Heimer alive, which is respectable. Okay, so this is gonna have to be a deep med and pray.
Pitiful.
Okay, -2, sure. Give me a that thing, thank you. Alright. Your move, do you have deny? He does. Oh, same thing. Okay, no biggie. We still have the decimate, right?
Love ya.
We still have the decimate. He has 1 HP and no Heimer. But he did do quite well, like, in terms of defending that. We might still lose. Honestly, this is definitely not over. Might as well play Ignition, no?
We each hold a world.
I don't
within.
like that. I do not like that at all. Yeah, so he could potentially win here. There's our Vladimir, though. I do think I go Decimate over Vlad, quite honestly. I just take this, it doesn't matter. Do I go Decimate over Vlad? Yeah, I do, because then I could play double Crackshot Corsairs. Alright, so he's looking for it. He actually had a second Nopify, too. Does he get the deny? He did. No, he didn't. Okay, game over. Alright, GG opponent. I don't really see how he gets out of this one. Got him. So the deck actually felt pretty good there. I don't know that I'm going to make any changes. I will take a look at it. Maybe I want to lean more into MF. MF did a lot of work there for us, but we weren't exactly facing a super meta deck. Let's take a gander at our list and see if there's anything that we particularly didn't like. Maybe Island Navigator felt heavy. I didn't play it and I had it in my hand the whole time, so this is kind of how I do it. I put things on the watch list. So the cards I'm watching now are Island Navigator. Seems like it may not fit, although it does synergize with the MF. It synergizes with MF and Corsair, so maybe it is a good fit. But either way, this is now on my watch list. Play another game. But if Island Navigator tends to be, you know, feel really heavy again, then we're gonna have to remove it. So this is obviously like the Heimer deck. I'm not gonna run into this deck very often. It is an aggro deck, or sorry, basically an anti-aggro deck. I don't expect to win this matchup, or at the very least it's going to be very difficult to do so. I think this is a better starting hand. Maybe not, right? 1, 2, 3 could work better. Yeah, we'll actually keep everything. The only thing I don't like about House Spider in this matchup is Vile Feast is very good against it, so I don't know that I want to do that. Definitely go with Rearguard on 1.
Won't get past me.
I don't think he has any 2-1s in his deck. He might have the 1-2. I probably do just play House Spider on 2 as opposed to Demolitionist. Oh, that's going to be a 3-drop. This is tricky. Okay. So he is basically just creating fodder. Sounds good. I probably just go Corsair. Yeah, we'll go Corsair first.
I never.
I'm thinking I'm going to go Corsair into Jagged Butcher, and then I'll probably just have to play Demolitionist later for burn. Vile Feast on the Spider, most likely. Vile Feast on that. Okay. Cool.
Okay, ready.
We'll just full swing then.
Yes, you do.
I mean, it is what it is. By doing that Vile Feast here, it makes me believe he's going to have another Vile Feast, or he might actually have a Withering Wail. But there is a second Vile Feast. Okay. So protecting this unit isn't really going to do me any good. The best thing I can do now is get him to cast removal spells. I actually... No, I can play Butcher. I think Butcher's better. So we're slowly chipping him away. The problem is, like I said, he's going to be a very defensive deck since he's playing Karma.
Silent as death.
I actually like to see that.
Dangerous waters.
Nice.
I will play my part.
Cool, that's good with me. I'm going to open attack here unless I draw something like an MF. Okay, I guess I'll play the MF. I don't know if that was a good choice, honestly. Oh, that was a great choice then, actually. If he is going to just Vengeance MF and spend his whole mana pool, then we're going to go face.
Bless is motion.
We're going to take our scout attack, gladly. And we're just pumping. This is just straight pump. We're playing aggro. We could really use a Vlad. I think Vlad is going to be pretty good if we can pick him up now. Yeah, Vlad would be ideal. Another Island Navigator is not bad, I guess. I could play both of these and be 6 wide. Okay, Scatterpod does nothing. If anything, Scatterpod makes me feel much better about doing this.
Remember the objectives. For the glory of Noxus.
So he's playing a 1 unit here. Matter. Take the damage always.
The ocean charts our course.
Oh, the question is, do I go with scout attack or do I full open attack? And I kind of think I full open attack. So scout attack is going to net me -1 unit, and I'm going to only deal 3 additional. I think this is better.
Let's get to it.
I'm thinking this is the better way to go, and I have a decimate. Withering Whale. I expected he was going to have a Withering Whale. Alright, I'm pretty sure we win now. Damn, this deck is on fire. I would like to draw Vlad, though. I mean, it's supposed to be a Vlad deck, and we're not really Vlading on anybody. Alright, so that's obviously to pass priority and kind of bait him into maybe spending more mana. It's not going to do it. It is what it is. Do you have health potion? You do not. Alright, got him. Jesus, oh my god, this deck. I was talking about how sometimes you don't get it right, like you never get it right on the first time, but this is feeling pretty good. Alright, Vladdy, let's keep going. Hey Milo, what's up? You want to be on camera? Ah, okay, Mono Shurima. So, we opted to not go Scorched Earth because we thought we were aggressive enough. I actually kind of want to hold on to... This is tricky. We're attacking on 5, so we'll go this route. Oh, no, we're attacking on 6. I'm stupid. Why am I so stupid? Okay, this is a bad hand for me. I just kind of wanted to test out Vlad, and I don't think this is the good matchup for it. That's, makes me feel a lot better, though, picking up the Crusty Codger. I'll likely play the second one out. I don't see him being able to do much about it. Like, he could play his 3-1 that has the landmark. Yeah, sure, that's fine.
You are not welcome.
Cool. I mean, we can definitely get a Vlad off here, I think. So, I never trade with this. Even if he wanted to offer me that trade, I never take that. We're looking to go wide, and then I think we're going to want to Vlad him down. This is unfortunate. What's wrong, Mr. Milo?
The oasis of the dawn flows again. Always forward.
I don't think I attack here. This is actually tough because this card... Okay, so we need to think about 3 damage. So this might actually want to be... I might want to have this as a 3-up. Then he's going to kill this with right. If I swing with both of these, he blocks here. He takes the value block, and then he blocks here, and then he blocks again. Probably not worth it. We'll just pass. Alright, so 3 attack units. Kind of important to us now that I think about this. I think we'll be okay though. We got the Vlad here.
I've dressed for the
They honestly should just give Vlad regen baseline. MF is nice, but I can't really afford to play it, so go like this.
Delicious.
bottoms
We'll do it this way. Let's see what's up. I don't want Vlad to kill these units, so we're just going to play them like that. That's good. 8 damage is very nice. Happy to see it. And this is also going to level Vlad, I believe. It is. He's going to have 2 of these, which is annoying. But I do have a transfusion. Okay, sure.
Behold my glory.
Alright, El Vladimir.
Lost away.
So he definitely has Rite of the Arcane. Like, I have zero doubt in mind that I'm going to get right. Oh, maybe I'm not going to get Rite of the Arcane. Okay, happy to see that. I'll take a Quicksand too. That's very nice. And do I just go Decimate now over MF? This is going to trigger. It's going to kill that. I could just Decimate while I have the opportunity. Xerath said 0. He's going to 1. Maybe MF's better. Yeah, we'll just go MF.
Fortune favors the
MF is fine.
Your
We'll
shark
just
has
develop.
no place for the weak.
We don't need to quite burn him out just yet. His Azir is getting places. I'd like a unit, though. That's actually pretty good. I'll take that. Rite of the Arcane. Yep. So we will transfuse. I don't want to transfuse Vlad, though, because I want my Vlad to be healthy. So I'm okay with this. And then I actually... Yeah, we'll just do it like this. So, this is what it is. Play the Corsair.
Keep firing till they're dead on the ground. My kind of plan.
We're in a bit of a tricky situation. I feel like my opponent had a pretty strong hand. This could be another trans. Oh my gosh, gross. It's gotta be like this. Unfortunately. As much as I want to deal face damage with that, I can't. Is that a Xerath at least? It is a Xerath. Alrighty. So, we still have the Quicksand in hand, which is nice. Azir, so Azir's about to level. He didn't even level his Azir. Wow. I think House Spider is probably worth it. It's such a tough call. It's gotta be House Spider. Does it? Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be. Okay, so I think we do lose this matchup. Which, this is interesting. Wow, that's a weird one. I am definitely down to attack with just this to get the additional point of damage. Especially since I'm going to Quicksand that.
Together
Cool.
we are part of something more.
Levels Azir.
You are Shurima is sand and sky, past and present.
I actually think this is a case of get Vlad to sack my whole board.
I'm absolutely pumped.
These are not going to get through regardless. I could hold on to this, but I don't think it's worth it. I think the best course of action here is to have Vlad just kill these for the guaranteed 1 damage.
Dissident.
This makes the most sense. Sure. Well, at least that opens me up for a Decimate. And by doing that, he actually just trades off his units, so I'm okay with this. Downside being if he obviously has another landmark, because he's going to flip this if he could play a landmark, but we're not doing very well. We're in a rough position, but this can be overcome. That's a pretty good card. down to pass with that. Of spider number 2. Alright. So I'm thinking we do the same thing. We push maximum damage here. Alright. Sand Soldier arise.
Your Emperor commands. You dare.
Alright. Doing some work here. It's gotta be. I mean, he might have another Rite of Negation. Doesn't? Cool. Oh, I'm stupid. I lost the damage. I lost the damage there. But now he is in Decimate range, so... I think that was a misplay, but that's just kind of the quirks of building a deck for the first time and messing with it. Oh shit, so I'm dead. I am literally dead here. Okay.
Unlimited power.
Whatever.
Mine to control.
I think I'm dead to open attack. Like 99% sure. I could have had him at 3, technically, right?
All the world.
I technically could have had him at 3. What do I have in my deck that kills him from 3? Honestly, nothing. The only thing I can possibly top deck here is Decimate, and he needs to develop for the Decimate to win, so I'm pretty sure we're dead. But that's okay. I don't know if this was a good example of the game. I think I'm not going to edit anything quite yet. There's the Decimate. Holy shit, develop. I dare you to develop. Oh, he's not developing. Develop, bro.
With my army.
He didn't develop, okay.
It is time.
Alright, we actually got to Decimate too, which is kind of funny. But alright, so it is what it is. We lost that game. I think we went wrong at our mulligan. I think a sample size of 1 is not very good. And considering we had a pretty rough start, and I thought my opponent's start was pretty good, I think that went okay. But I do want more 3 attack units, so I wish there was a way to filter by damage. Spider felt somewhat underwhelming, honestly. I kind of like Grenadier better. We'll cut a Spider. And we'll add a Grenadier. And we need some stuff with 3 attack. Because if we can't just get walled by that card. This could actually, no, it needs to have 2 health. This could be good, Boxtopus. But we do need a 3 attack unit. I don't know if there's any good options. Legion Drummer, not really. This could be okay. If you've cast a spell this round, grant me elusive. We don't have any spells, that's not going to work. Arachnoid Sentry. Is this worth it? Probably not. I guess we could play Crimson Curator, and this can just generate us value. We're not looking to play a value game plan, though. We're looking to just kill stuff. Okay, I'm not too sure. This would take a lot more tweaking, but we'll just make the simple change of -1 Spider, +1 Grenadier. And I actually kind of want to chalk that up to mulligan, so we'll keep going. Give this another round. I definitely think we could have beat that Mono Shurima. I mean, it was close. I think I made a couple misplays and my mulligan was bad. If I had a better mulligan and, you know, I didn't misplay as much, I think we probably could have got there. So I don't think I need to be too concerned about that matchup. But honestly, if I really am struggling in that matchup, I just will have to just, you know, put Scorched Earth in. Realistically, you just put Scorched Earth in, and then that matchup becomes a whole lot more winnable. How do I want to deal with this? This is going to be a combo-esque deck. Is Navigator Vlad worth it? I know. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm thinking. Like, I really actually am liking this combo. We'll just mulligan everything. We'll look for an early curve, and we'll just go hyper aggressive. Cool. Looks much better. I am liking the synergy between Codger and Vlad. That's actually a pretty cool little interaction. Can I afford to play another 1-drop? Like, what am I going to get walled out here? We'll take the risk. I'm going to risk it. I would like to get the Butcher down at a 3-3. So, like, he could play Akshan and, like, use a spell and block 1, but I'm still getting my 2 in. I'm not sure if this is greedy or not. This is kind of like the aggro thing. He's probably going to quicksand both. No, he's just going to take it. I love that. Oh my, there's the Akshan. Have the Butcher. This is definitely going to be MF, and then I'm going to attack with everything the following turn. This is nice.
Villains beware.
Sure. You can have it.
No prey.
Could have Desert Duel, I guess, but Desert Duel doesn't really do anything. He needs to buff this first. He could have Shapestone into Akshan Slap.
Hello.
Sure, that doesn't matter. Alright, cool. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to Noxian Fervor here instead.
Time for violence.
You're strange.
I almost wonder if I should Fervor this. Or do I just take my 4? That's a tricky one. I think I take my 4, honestly. I don't think Fervor's worth it here. Because if I Fervor now, it just heals, like, he just gets to keep that card. And I don't really want him keeping that. I think this is the right play. Like, we're still pushing tons of damage on him.
You like it? I mean, shut up and fight!
Ooh, Eye of the Dragon. Nice. Actually, just play it out. There's no reason not to. And I have a Vlad into a Transfusion now. That's pretty good. Okay. This is likely going to have to be a Fervor then. He's going to flip this. That's not a big deal. Really not too concerned about him flipping that.
Fixing the world one scoundrel at a time.
That does mean I'm not going to play Vlad, but I mean I can just play Grenadier into Vlad, so it really doesn't matter.
Finders keepers.
Okay, I mean if he wants to just waste that, I don't care.
We each
Eye of
hold
the
a
Dragon,
world
sure.
within.
I could just play the Vlad now. Could just go... Probably go safe route and play Grenadier anyways. I don't really want to waste a development. Sure. We'll go face with it. Perhaps killing Eye of the Dragon is the correct play, but I don't think so. I think he's going to have a potential way to protect his Eye of the Dragon, so I don't think it's wise to go that route. We'll go the Vladimir, and we'll swing with everything. And then we have a Transfusion backup. Don't know how far we're going to get, but we'll try to get as far as possible. Right now we have +2 units. If he plays a unit, we have +1 units. Which means we should be able to get through for some damage, especially if we throw the Transfusion. Alright, we're going +2 units on him. I'd love to see that. This is going to level our Vlad.
The dragon binds us.
Scum!
Alright, he's still dead here, so he's going to have to cast something, and it's going to be a Homecoming. Don't really like seeing that. What's him at? +1. Could just kill his Akshan. Do I care about Akshan? Annoying. But... Alright, well, whatever. We'll just push damage. That's fine. So, that was good on my opponent. He's got the Homecoming. I feel like our deck is kind of weak to these control-y decks. But these decks tend to be very good against aggro, right? Like, that's what they do. That's their shtick. So, they are anti-aggro
The
decks
spirit gives
in
to
their
those
core.
who listen.
Has he played 2 here? He only played 1. He's going to play another spell. There it is. This Eye of the Dragon is super obnoxious. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Butcher's not bad. I could actually play Demolitionist into Butcher into Vlad. Could just play Vlad, I guess. Thinking this isn't gonna work out because of this. It's just so weird that I'm running into all of these random decks that you literally just haven't seen for like weeks, and then you just face them. Is this matchup unwinnable? Definitely not. From the position we're in, it's gonna be tough. Ionia is just really good against us because you can deny the Vladimir's trigger.
Villains beware.
I think a buff for Vlad that'd be good is to make this not bounceable, in the sense of Vladimir doesn't need to remain on the board to do it. Like once it's on the stack, it goes through. I know it's kind of like
justice.
a little counterintuitive, but still.
Try me.
I mean,
Your lesson begins.
let's take this trade, I guess. I just want to be able to trigger the Butcher. I would like to get Vlad down now. Trigger the Butcher, get Vlad down, see what's up. Definitely not. It's not over. This is kind of bad news.
I'd never keep my guests.
So he obviously is going to have a bounce for my Vlad. Oh, okay, that's whatever. Does this count as 2? That's just a 1. Alright. Alrighty. Can I have a good card, please, game? That's actually not bad. That levels up Vlad. So we will do it. Do it on Eye of the Dragon.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
I
mean, flipping Vlad doesn't really matter at this point, quite honestly. I do think we're in just some serious trouble. Just gonna draw 2. Likely has a Lee Sin now. Lee Sin is obviously leveled. Probably dead next turn unless we can get him low enough for a Decimate.
Remember,
Well, let's go for it, right? I think a good way to go about this turn is just play out our hand and try to get a 5 damage Vlad. Because if we can get a 5 damage Vlad, that puts us in a position that we can actually maybe kill him with a Decimate or a Noxian Fervor. He hasn't played any denies at this point, which, you know, it's pretty likely he has one. Maybe 2.
the few for the many.
Okay. Let me play my Corsair. Alright, whatever. I mean, if he wants to pass, pass.
Careful where you point that thing.
I actually think if he passes, maybe I pass back. And that way he doesn't get the Eye of the Dragon. I don't think that's right, though. Yeah, well, like, he's obviously passing because he wants me to do something, but the problem is, if I pass back, I'm not really in a much better position. I'm just susceptible to dying to Lee Sin anyways, so... He's going to deny this, or he's going to bounce my Vlad. He's going to stop this somehow. But the real hope here is that I can get enough damage on him. He's dead here. He obviously has a bounce. If I can get him close enough
Hug it out.
to death, we're good. So, play your thing. Okay. Actually fine with that. That puts him at 1. That's, like, not bad at all. Okay. He's just gonna go to 1. Wow. Okay.
Hey.
Sure.
Oh, come now.
He doesn't have very good answers, it looks like. It looks like he could actually just die to a Decimate or a Fervor.
Your lesson
There's
begins.
no way he goes
Ready
to 1.
yourself.
He's got to have another card. Bounce. Bounce, palm, deny.
The dragon binds us.
Deny, yeah. So that is significantly worse for us. Alright, so this does not give us... I think we're dead, right? He's going to play Lee now if he's smart. He doesn't have Lee. Maybe he just doesn't have the Lee. Whoa. There's the Decimate.
In and out.
I just take this. There's no reason not to.
This is justice.
Sure. We're going to pass. There's no need to Decimate now. And we just open attack.
It is time.
I've got us covered.
Like, the idea here is if we get him into Decimate range, we can maybe just kill him.
Your lesson begins.
He really doesn't want to throw that Auction away. Okay. Sure.
Hey. Hug it out.
Palm. Okay, so he's not going to Decimate range. He is staying just shy of it.
Missed.
I mean, oh, he did get a unit there, damn. Okay, there's another Vlad, though. So if I can survive this turn, I can maybe get him with the Vlad Decimate.
Villains beware.
I just take this hit. So I'm dead now?
You can thank me later.
Okay, 5. That's only 7. That's only 7, dude. Okay, there it is. There it is.
The dragon lives.
Alrighty, so we have to
Say
obviously
your
block
farewells.
here, and here. This puts us at 1. Alright, it is what it is. He's likely going to have another Twin Disciplines. Okay, game over. Alright.
No.
Kind of lame, honestly. That deck's like... I just hate Lee Sin decks. Lee Sin decks are just so obnoxious. Ionia in general. Like, any Ionia type control deck is just so boring to play against. It's like, you just have a million answers. But it is what it is. That's a deck that's designed to beat us. Alright. I don't really want to tweak it. I'm actually really liking the list as is. So I'm going to play one more game with it. And we'll see how it goes. Just because... I think that's a matchup that no matter how we tweak it, it's not going to work out in our favor anyways. So yeah. That's a bit of a tricky one. Bit of a tricky match. Alright, let's face something normal. Okay, this is a good test. I don't think that we're favored here. So this is actually... Running into these decks after a bunch of games, it makes me feel like this probably isn't going to work out as an effective deck, right? Like, I think what I'm going to be like 2-2 now or something. Did we lose to Mono Shurima? So we're currently 2-2. This will be our 5th game. And... kind of thinking like this is also a pretty bad matchup, so maybe this deck is either just not going to work out in general. Find it hard to think that I'm just being unlucky. So maybe the deck's just not good, and that's totally okay. Sometimes when you make a deck, it's not good, and it is what it is. I definitely take this trade. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't want to take that trade. I think I go rear guard. This doesn't really matter. It kind of does. I think rear guard's better here. He's less likely to block my rear guard. Yeah, because he's going to play Auction, right?
I bend them slightly.
So I think he's just not going to block that. And this is going to let me hopefully draw a card nicely.
In and out.
We'll get there. We'll get there. He passes. I definitely never pass.
If I kill you, I know fortunes.
Never pass in there. There's no way.
Cool eye patch.
You like it?
Cool.
I mean, shut up and fight!
I'll just take the 5. I do think that I can outrace him, so I think that's fine. Actually go rear guard.
Reporting in.
I'm gonna go rear guard into Grenadier and then have Noxian Fervor up. I think that's the best course of action here. As much as I would like to play MF, I don't think MF's gonna help me all that much. So we'll just do it like this and we'll swing with everything. And if he gets any sort of fancy blocks, then
I'll do better this time.
like he's gonna try to block like this, right? Like that's his best block. Oh, no he's not. He's gotta have a Shapestone maybe?
Dead meat.
I'm happy to trade the entire board. Like, if he wants to trade this whole board down, by all means, right? Okay. So the question here is, do I just kill Akshan? I probably do just kill Akshan, honestly. I think this is good. It's a weird one. I would rather go face. I always would rather go face when playing aggro. But I think in this situation, it's probably better to just kill his Akshan. It prevents him from, like, he would have leveled. He might just have another one, I suppose. Nope, he doesn't. This could be an easy Vlad. Yeah, we'll play with Vlad. I mean, worst case scenario, he can buff this and kill Vlad. It's not even that bad. So I actually am going to go wide here. I'll play the MF. And I won't bother with Transfusion. Let's just see what he's up to. Maybe I go Transfusion. Depends. Let's see. It depends on what he plays here. But I actually kind of think I'd rather play MF and attack with everything and push as much damage as possible. It also levels up Vlad.
I get the guards, Bob gets the goods.
Okay, so now in this case, I'd rather just not do that. Keep the Transfusion open to protect my Vlad.
For real?
Is he not going to do the Broadwing block? That makes sense.
Your funeral.
Alright, I'm happy to see this. He doesn't even kill Vlad here, so I'll just leave it be. Buff? Yep. That's +2.
One suffers, another thrives.
Vlad no longer dies. Nice! Happy to see that.
Kneel before me.
We're definitely... I actually kind of am liking Transfusion in this deck. Maybe that's something that I'm going to consider upgrading. Or putting more copies of. Transfusion, although it is Vlad's champion spell, seems to be working really well. Alright, we could use a unit. That's not a bad unit. That will do. Probably just play out my hand now. 6, 7, 8. We have enough to do all of it.
Find a gift for Renekton, right, Arda?
Fortune favors the bold. I know what I'm worth.
For the Empire.
Alright, well, I'm assuming he must have a buff for his Sivir, right? No, he doesn't. Okay. I definitely go Fortune Croaker.
For silver I thought, for gold I leased.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's keep going wide.
Steal from the rich.
Not the best to see. Not too happy to see that, but it's fine. And we just full swing. Got him. Alright, cool. Seemed to work out. Now, I'm thinking...
That's why I'm the captain.
I don't know. I don't know how I want to tweak this. I think I'll probably just call it at that. I think the deck works. Would I call it competitive? Probably not. It needs more testing. But I do think that at the end of the day, we got the point of the video across, and that's really how to build a deck, how to think about using your deck and tweak it. And I use something like Vlad MF. I mean, this is a pretty unlikely duo, but, you know, just understanding what's going on, it seemed to work out. So, yeah, that was cool. Alright, I'm going to close it off here. This video is getting a little long already. Thanks for watching, guys. Please be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about the deck, the concept, and just the way that the video went, and if you'd like to see more stuff like this. Have yourselves a wonderful day. T-Dot out.